Was that example you gave us on the streets?
Does it work from like does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah. Right. I know that you're not me. Because it was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, right. You know, because I wanted to put him down to a better place. Basically. Right. And was that example you gave us on the streets?
Does it work from like does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah. Right. I know that you're not me. Because it was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, right. You know, because I wanted to put him down to a better place. Basically. Right. And was that example you gave us on the streets?
Does it work from like does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be
you know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah.
Okay, I think I'd be heard now. That we're good. Let's see. Might be a little loud. Let's see how we can fix that. Nothing I can do about the audio, I don't think. I wonder about now. I wonder how good I am. I think we're good now. Yeah, okay. Let's begin this. Let's see if
You know what?
see if this is good.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley
Okay.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Let me see if I can fix my audio real quick. Yeah. That should be. It's. I'm out again, but it's okay.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
All right.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Figured out how to crouch. Okay. Partition. Okay. My sensitivity up. The controls are. Is that even the right button to crouch? Okay, it's both of them. Pause. Yeah. Okay. Let's rank it up to 7. Yeah, that's better. Okay, no one in there. No one in there. 429. 428.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
No matter how hard, Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story
The pen.
in any way.
No pen. Can I take that pen? Okay, there's no desk. There's not even a computer here. I hate Monday probably. Or wait, what does it say? Yeah, I hate Mondays. It's fair. Nope. Blank wall with a painting on it. Okay.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Fine. Nope. Nope.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. I'm going this door.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
heck yeah.
admire it.
Where's the employee lounge? Yeah.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
I want a cold drink.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Beautiful. 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 Alright. No coffee?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
Yes.
The room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Well, what is this room?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, we got blueprints. Blueprints. Key card. Okay. 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 Cargo lift 1,000. Jumping off the cargo lift. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
I'm saying we can go back, though.
There's someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Wire. Or dark door.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Sorry, let me plug that back in.
That wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
Can I plug it back in? No.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment.
I can still do
where
that.
He finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible?
I seen a power. I seen a plug, and I wanted to unplug it.
I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you've made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Practice.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process.
Gator.
Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry.
Why are so many
Now that
forklifts?
you're properly informed on good decision-making,
What is that about?
we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. Fair enough. Nah, I'll go back.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse.
I can jump that.
Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Can't jump off that side? Alright, you know, it's fine. Well, can I get back on it? Probably not. Well... Still need the key card for that. Oh, coffee. Number 1, let's go. Shut the door on myself. Shut the door again. Let's keep going. Glass.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left,
Fuel, okay.
back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Not gonna lock one of these doors?
Now
Wow.
remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So left would be this door. I mean, you know, what's stopping me from coming back through here?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Mean. What is this about? Man, I'll go back. Man. Not letting me choose my own choices, man.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed
Monday,
to do?
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Even if there were a
Thursday,
way to
Friday.
continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have
You're
to live with it
everywhere.
forever,
Okay.
reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I...
Can I jump?
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Can you let me jump?
I have to.
Let me jump. Oh, this went well.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire
know where we
game
are.
is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you
Man.
think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave
What
exactly
happened?
as Stanley would. That means
Okay.
choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll go through.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
Okay,
wave of
okay.
disbelief,
Talk less.
Stanley
Okay, don't
decided
get
to
fired.
go up to his boss's
Good enough.
office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No downstairs. Okay. It's not the right door. It's not the right door either.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code. Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall. I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine. You're not going to do it?
No.
But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had...
Okay.
to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
Okay. Stanley?
Stanley? Hello? Are you...
Stanley died.
Okay. Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
Okay, I beat it.
Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
All right, that's the end.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This looks upstairs to
Stanley
me.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that.
B4.
And in such
1,
a
2,
competitive
B4.
economy,
Why is there
would
not
he
a 3
take
there?
that risk? All because he believed...
Taking out to the. I'm
everyone,
taking out.
that
I'm
is,
going to HR.
his boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence.
Where?
in a
Are we
single
going on a
moment
loop?
For no reason at all. None of
Is
it
this a
made
loop?
any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he walked down?
I can't.
Why did doors
Only
close
feet.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be
Nah.
real. And at last,
Nah,
he
it's
came
all
to
fake.
the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled.
This can't
This
keep
is
going.
all a
Oh, what the heck?
dream.
Who spilled their coffee?
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself,
Spill papers.
I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
second paper
I
towel
may as well enjoy
thing.
this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still
I'm
not
gaining
woken
speed.
up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I'm gaining speed.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself,
Elevator go up
being
and down.
considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming
Wooden
about a
poster
voice
thing on wall.
describing me,
Painting.
thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Crap, crap,
And while
crap.
he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Okay.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely,
Can I
if he
start
could
floating
just...
again?
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the
Still walk,
press of
though.
the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Find out where I
Let me
am.
wake up, he thought to himself.
Can't see anything, but I'm
through
walking
with this
somewhere.
dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be
Where am I?
fine. I
Open my
am
eyes.
okay.
I can't see. Oh, I'm running into a file cabinet. Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my
Red
voice?
light.
Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular
happened to
day,
Stanley?
her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
I'm back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of
I'm
two
going
open
right.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, I'm speed running through this. Running straight through this.
This room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
What's down here?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Can I go right? Can I go here? Can I go back up? No? Okay.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
I wanted to go right.
No.
It's this one.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please?
Okay.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. There we go.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to,
Okay, wait, where are we?
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely
Fired.
unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense,
Where am I?
we'll just restart the
427,
game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted.
There's a few doors.
The game over,
this one, that's
fresh.
the favorite one.
Everything should be...
It's the only one that looks like you
something
can't actually access
changed.
it.
Stanley, Did you change anything when we were back
I
in
didn't
that
touch
room
it.
with all the monitors? Did you
No.
move the story somewhere or...
Hold
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Nope.
It was right
Nope.
here just a minute ago.
Nope.
I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an
Go on the left and do
adventure.
this one.
Come, Stanley. Let's find
Let me in
the
this.
story.
Let's go this one. Does this one lead to this one? Okay, they go to the same area. That's probably it's probably just the same area, huh? Let's just go this one. Go this way.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Every door's already open. And now there's no door.
Yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this
Huh.
wrong. It's
Well, we can
possible
go up,
the
can't
story
we?
is back where we just came from.
Those lights
Why
aren't
don't
on.
we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. This is new. Is it new? I think it's new. Door right there. Okay, this is different.
I knew we'd miss something.
What?
The story. Here it comes.
Okay, this is
No, wait. Never mind. Not
This
the
is
story.
wrong.
Okay,
think
let's
this
head
is-
back the other way and retrace our steps.
wrong. This is a completely different room.
Now this...
We're in someone's.
Well, I'll be
Where are
honest,
we?
I don't recognize this place at all. Is
Okay.
this the story? I
Yeah, that's
don't
a.
think so.
Okay, that's not even a
I
door.
can't quite recall, but I believe my story
back.
took
Okay,
place
that's
in
a
an
window
office
now.
building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
No.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Yeah, I
Some
did. I put my
people
whole
win
life
fair
into
and
this.
square, and this was not one of those
Paint
situations.
can.
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
Another
I don't care
paint can.
what might happen this time. I have to restart.
No, don't.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Okay.
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I think that's right. Okay, this is gonna be the blank room again.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Okay. I'll go back. This line being this goes this way, so I'm following the line. Yes, the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Let's follow it. What did that mug say? I like work. I just hate my boss. Okay. To the right. Nope. Nope. New rooms. 4B5. Okay, that makes sense. 4B4. That makes sense. 4B7. Yeah, that's definitely a good order. Yeah. 4B5 and then 4B7 here.
You see? The line
For
knows
question mark
where
A,
the
yeah,
story
I like it,
is.
I like it.
It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Whoa.
Though, here's a thought.
480.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story
482.
there? Or to put it another way,
481.
is the story of no
Empty door.
destination still a story? Simply by the
483.
act of moving
484.
forward, are we implying a journey such that
chairs.
a destination is inevitably
480, wait a minute,
conjured
that's
into
480.
being via the very manifestation
me
of
go
the
over here real
nature
quick.
of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train
Okay.
of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in
45.
fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence
Okay, wait a minute.
rests
Hold on.
inside
What?
of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative
What is happening?
experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Can we do that music back on, man? Also, I think I went the wrong way. I think I went the wrong direction.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Following it.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
This way. Nope, this way. That's the beginning line. Well, there was a different direction I could have went, but you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna go back for that crap. It was someone that made me go in a different dimension. Oh, not this again.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything
what is
we've
that?
been through...
What's that over there?
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
It's like a camera
Restart.
fired. Okay, we're back with the camera. We're back with the line.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right?
Like my room.
Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring,
Okay.
mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Nice door appeared. Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use
How about you turn the music back on?
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
We're gonna go end up back in the office, aren't we?
Oh, no, not you again.
Not the line.
Stanley,
Where'd you even come
I'd
from?
also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
Oh, don't acknowledge the line? I like the line, though. It's cool. It's cool. Woo. Woo. Whoop. Bloom. Where'd he go? Okay, that's fair. Choice.
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here.
Okay,
just
give me a minute
walk in
also.
circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each
Fine.
door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, bang, 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 bang. Okay. The confusion ending.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
What?
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Don't you dare restart the game, you're gonna forget.
So now,
you're gonna forget.
according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Don't.
Well, what if I don't want to forget?
No longer an office, simply a black space, wander in the blackness, find a bookstore, board and leave.
Thing, wall.
The narrator is gone.
Well,
Stanley
who can
dies.
subject me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
What?
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Uh-oh.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we
But I mean, it doesn't
break
matter
the
which door
cycle?
we went through.
Whatever it is that made this schedule. How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Ah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Don't restart.
I guess now we just wait. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
okay.
suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's
And music.
where we are right
Bring the
now.
music back.
We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh no. Not again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Narrator,
to the meeting
remember.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Remember. Remember my good old boy. Remember the things.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
going for
first,
it.
just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah, I'm good.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, what we got here? Nothing? Okay, we're gonna keep going. And we're gonna die.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah! Now we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
What if I like the broom closet? It's nice and cool.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it
Bring
is,
the music
he's
back,
literally
please.
just standing there doing sweet FA.
Ooh, wait a minute. What's that?
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Can't climb that. I
Please
swear to
offer me
climb
some
that.
explanation here. I'm genuinely
I
confused.
swear to climb that. How did I climb that? I swear I can jump that.
You
Well, I
do
can still up
realize
there.
there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd
Yeah,
said
there's a
Stanley
broom.
walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally.
But I heard
this
the
closet is
sound. I heard the sound of the
absolutely no
broom.
significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Heard the sound. I had to come in
Maybe to
here.
you, this is somehow its own branching
It
path.
is.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say,
Yeah.
"Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet
Yeah.
ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
What?
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with
Oh,
drug money.
man.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
You didn't mean that.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
No.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen.
No.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I don't want to step in the hallway. You said some real hurtful things. I don't want to go outside now. Is that a pen? It's a pencil. It's probably a pencil. Could be a pen. Was that pliers? More duct tape. Okay.
Ah, second. You too? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm
but
at
you
the
thought I was
mercy
gonna
of
leave
an
this?
entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Take a seat here. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And what happened when I walked back downstairs?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
I fell for it
Why did
again.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how
Makes
it's
sense.
describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and
What's in
wondered if
there?
this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Wow, look at that. Wait a minute.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office.
Okay.
I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my
Did the clock
voice?
change time?
Who am I?
They stop.
And everything.
They're still going.
Back. This is the story of a woman.
We already
named
got
Mariella.
this.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Alright, we're still back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps I missed a memo. Who
When
knows?
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered
So we
the
want to
door
go
on his
right
left.
again. We went 2 different ways right. And one of those were one that made us go back. Let's just go this way.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
We don't need a reticle. Nah.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This is different. Isn't it?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
1, 2, 3.
2845. But of course, Stanley
2, 8,
couldn't
4,
possibly
5.
have
Okay.
known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct
It's so
code
dark.
by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Can I drink one of these? No? Okay. Okay. Boop.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I'll go back up.
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait
I
to
can't
find
wait. I want to see if it changed. Did it change? Did anything change?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly
Nice.
the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Man. Wait a minute. Go.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's
maybe.
office again? Or what?
Maybe.
It's the boss's office this time.
It could
the
be.
Suspense is killing me.
I want to know. Is it the boss's office again? Did the roof get bigger?
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
What?
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Oh.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh.
I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Oh, okay, take your time.
All right, I have fully come to terms.
Have you?
I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Yeah, good enough. Can we leave? Nah, okay.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator.
Yes.
How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
Really?
I had no
First time?
frame of reference to even anticipate it.
First
That's
time
just
for
how
everything.
revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive. You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment.
Where are we?
Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley.
For real.
What you and I are doing right now. This is the
What's
most
that?
exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
All right.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Out there. Okay. Alright, just around the corner. Should be this way. Stanley. I'm a role model.
Ah, yes,
Child.
here it is.
My
just
door
through
open?
this door.
What's first sensitive machine?
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a normal day in the office.
All of his co-workers were...
Where'd my co-workers go?
No, this isn't the right office,
Wait a minute.
is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What? I'm Stanley. Wait, he's not speaking anymore.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
All right.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he
My bad, I just felt like
relaxed
it.
for a few moments with some calming New Age
Music!
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yes. I do walk forward into the passageway after I have to tie my little shoes real quick. Okay. I've tied my little shoes. Let's go. Let us go down. What? He closed it off on me. Can I even go back up?
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Is it even closed? Or does it open back up? Okay, it opens back up. Let's go back down. What, I have to come over here to see it?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again.
Let me go back down.
This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive, rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative.
Down.
I'm bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
How does he keep coming up with all of this?
Okay. Where are you going?
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Yeah, okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's go this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Would I? You sure about that? You the truth teller.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and
You know how
get
confident
back
I
on
am I'm going to
track.
survive this? I'm walking backwards.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I feel great, actually. I'm alive. My legs
As the
feel great.
machine whirled into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his
What is that?
demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Am I going to drop? Please, it looks like there's a thing there. Can I drop? Please?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator.
Please let me go down,
as
plees.
Stanley was led helplessly
Is that a
into
door?
the enormous metal jaws.
That's definitely a thing down
In a
there.
visceral instant, Stanley
Please?
was obliterated as the machine crushed
Please?
every
Nah.
bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Nah, didn't happen. Didn't happen. I'm dropping. Yes! Alright, let's go this way.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created
So
for
bright.
you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
That's the office.
making
Okay, so we
life
start
the
here, we
same.
walk to the office, we can walk
Do you
through, we
see
go around
now?
here.
Do you see
Walk
that
this way.
Stanley was
And that's
already
the duo
dead
door.
from the moment he hit start?
Oh, horrible sound. What, a guitar riff? Not actually that bad. Great sound, great sound. Copycat. What, alarm clock? Oh, a time bomb. Ugh, I don't like that sound. Don't like that sound. Best one, this one. That's the best sound. The two doors. Yeah, that's what that is. Was he playing solitaire? Credits. I'm going right. Office clock. The lounge underground. Okay.
Elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where Stanley pushed the big red button. Then he pushed the number 4. Stanley pushed the number 6.
Okay. Fair. Fair. What's up here? Freedom ending? What is this? Let's go. Let's wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Sending. Okay, okay. All right. What's this way? Okay. Oh, what was this way? The office. Okay. Let's get out of here.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see
No.
how much they need one another?
Now.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Ah, back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
Oh, new
baby.
content? What does that mean, new content?
New content if I will. Door.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here?
I was about to say.
Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go.
That's
All right,
upwards.
finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Okay. So far, looking pretty good. The
All
jump
right.
circle.
All right, let's see it.
Oh,
jump
baby. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the jump circle. Yeah. 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 Woohoo, yeah. The jump circle is my favorite circle. Oof, oof, oof. Oof, oof, oof. What? Man.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Gotta be new stuff, come on. Can't just have the jump circle. An elevator, okay.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
All right.
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Wow.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I didn't get a choice. Okay, where are we? This is not the right area. Looks like there's a vent.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Fine. Fine. You want to go to the vent. Coffee nut. And a screwdriver. Okay. Okay, why'd the vents change quality?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone.
Beautiful.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
It's beautiful. Wow. Wow. Such good quality. Beautiful flowers. Tasty dirt. The Memory Zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I don't think that's what I actually said. I don't think that's what it said. That Bion looks like it's not even supposed to be there. Press, definitely not supposed to be there. Gas, that's also not supposed to be there. Not good enough. Singular dollar. See that? Okay, okay. Wow. Piano.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay, there's downstairs. Can we go back downstairs? No. Missed content. Missed content.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a
Bicycle.
game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need...
Hold on, I gotta...
need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation, boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Okay, we do go back down.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no!
Reviews?
God,
Oh no, the bad
Stanley.
reviews. No,
it's a collection of
the bad reviews.
from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
That's a good one, though.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Another forklift. That's fair. Modo. See a review.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and
if
therefore
it goes on a
by
loop, I
becoming
swear I
it
might
is,
click it.
so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently.
Okay.
I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
What?
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I don't feel quite
maybe.
certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave?
Nah,
Please,
doesn't like it.
I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Alright. I guess I'll push the skip button. Well...
Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Okay, so he's just going in a circle.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something.
Plant's
I am
dying.
being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
That's enough silence for me.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Alright. Boop. Heh.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized gas. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They be.
Another button. Anything else? Is the button even working more? Okay.
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
We're leaking.
Is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Oh, we're leaking. Oh, we're leaking. We're leaking a big bunch now. Oh, we're leaking. Alright, so let's get over to the... Whoa, are we looking anymore? It's getting worse. Oh, it's gotten worse. Yeah, no, it's not looking too hot. The sunlight. It's so bright. Button, let me push. Beautiful trees and plants. Wow. Oh, it's bad now. It got worse. So why are we sideways? Oh. I guess we're going on a long walk, huh? We're back. Luckily, we're back. So nice.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Hello, narrator. Welcome back. Ah. What a beautiful time to come back. What does that
You
say?
see, Stanley, I've been
New content.
reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay, I see it.
Yes,
Or
you
2.7,
see,
yes.
Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Okay. I see it, I
Calling
see
it the
it.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
A win-win.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation
Yeah, that first one's probably
and
the best one.
long-term franchising potential.
Like the third one. Thanks for attending my meeting. Yeah. That one's nice, yeah. Yeah, that one's the best one.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Hey.
Here we
Okay.
are. Go on, try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Let's see what it says.
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified.
That's
right
wrong.
Now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim? Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes,
That's me.
You see? What a thrill. What
That's
a rush.
me.
That was you. The button described you. Do it again. Do it again. Jim. Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Now, bring the button back. Bring the button back. I want the Jim button back. You can't take the perfect thing away from me. You just can't do that.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
the button that says Jim. That's Jim. Jump circle. Wait a minute. How was that earlier that showed the things? Bucket. I should have left myself a bucket.
Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
Gimme.
It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
Give me it. Give me it. Give me it. Give me it.
Can you feel it? The glow of
Yes.
comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay, I see. The bucket's pretty
Does
nice.
anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Man, why you want to pick the niece one? Man, okay. It's fine.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving
Okay.
on. You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
No.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
I want to jump.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Man. I want a trophy, because I got a bucket. I want to put a trophy inside my bucket.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on.
Yeah! Woohoo!
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
That's the exit. So this way.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Well, okay.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
It wasn't infinite, you liar.
I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever.
You're a liar, you lied
I
to
think
me.
the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually
Meeting
wants
at
to
2.
fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as
Meeting at
anyone
2
would
again.
actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole...
It was a pretty
mostly
deep hole.
infinite?
I mean,
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
oh, there's cigarettes.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the
I'm not gonna jump back in the hole. Mostly infinite hole. Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, music back. Let's go. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get out of here.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready
Yeah.
to move on now?
Yeah.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know
That's
it's
great.
not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
Yes.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
This is collectibles,
Who am I kidding, Stanley?
collectibles,
This isn't a
collectibles.
coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy
Hello.
creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. Same settings. Okay, I think if it doesn't reset, we call it a night, and then we come back the next day. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.